Hello there, it's Onion Creature. We have a Nintendo Direct coming tomorrow, which is, I'd say it's exciting. It's actually, I don't know, mildly not exciting, since this is going to be a partner showcase Direct, which, man, I feel like the timing is definitely off. When this was first announced, I was like, yeah, Nintendo Direct, and I think about it, and like, realistically, what could they show that's going to be super exciting to me personally? I don't know, might not be that much. I do have a list of some stuff which I thought up. It's like, all right, yeah, this reasonably could happen. First of all, we got Elden Ring release date. This got delayed from last year, apparently due to the performance. It was pretty bad, I guess. Cool that it's coming. I tried with Elden Ring. I gave it a good 15 hours. It's cool. I can see the appeal to some degree, but just too damn hard for me, and I didn't really feel like looking up tutorials on how to make it less hard. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it another chance one day, but at this point, not one I'm personally looking forward to. Speaking of FromSoft, they do have another Nintendo release slated for this year, that being the Duskbloods, which is apparently some sort of multiplayer new IP from the studio. This is probably still coming out this year if I had to guess, but the fact that Elden Ring got delayed by such a seemingly significant amount because we still don't have a release date makes me feel like the Duskbloods is probably a bit further off, probably later in the year, and because of that I don't really think we're going to see it in this Direct specifically, seeing as it is only February now. So I think it'll be a no-show for the Duskbloods. If we do see it, I think they would give it a section maybe at the end. I don't think we're getting two FromSoft things here. Next, we have a game I do quite like and might be interested in a Switch 2 version potentially. That being Expedition 33, proclaimed Game of the Year by many places last year. I can agree with that. It was really great video game. The story especially, I think, is the major highlight, and the gameplay is very, very fun, taking clear inspiration from Paper Mario, and as such it would be a great fit for the Nintendo platform. I played this on my PC. It's a pretty relatively old PC, I think, by most standards, but it ran the game quite well. Got a close to 60 most of the time, which is enough for me. So I think a Switch 2 version could look really good. The developers have, put out some interest, has said things that might hint that this might happen at some point. And I think now would be a good time. I don't think it would necessarily take too long to get on the platform, and there's so much hype around the game because it was so lauded last year. That's reasonably likely to happen. I also think we could see perhaps some DLC or new content, because that is also apparently coming to the game in some form. So maybe a Switch 2 edition that has some new content alongside it, sort of like how Elden Ring, I think, has some new like classes. So whether it be like cosmetic items or something more substantial, we could very well see that. I think that's pretty likely, so don't count that one out. Yeah, other games I can think of are just some previously announced like AAA third-party games like the James Bond video game. I think there's been a handful of others. That's just what's coming to mind for me at the moment, but I mean, it'd be nice to see it running on Switch 2 to compare it to other systems. Maybe not the most exciting though, for a Direct, just to get an update on a game we already know is coming and is coming to other platforms. That leads us into our next category, which I think is pretty likely we're just going to get a grab bag of various AAA titles that weren't able to run on Switch 1 but can on Switch 2. Maybe like Red Dead Redemption 2 is one that comes to mind. And yeah, the reason I'm just not as excited for this stuff is because these are games I could realistically already play in some other form relatively easily, so them being on a Nintendo platform is nice, but not something to really hang a whole Direct on. And then just one thing I thought of, I was like, oh yeah, we're getting Adventures of Elliot this year, which is a really cool HD 2D game. I played the demo. It's a bit more like a action-focused Zelda game, top-down Zelda. So I really enjoyed that demo. It looked great, and the gameplay was quite fun. So that could be one to look out for. Again, one we already know about, but we'll be releasing at some point, probably relatively soon, some point this year. And then I just threw in a couple of indie games because we do occasionally get games that are more in the indie realm in these partner showcases. We could get Mousework from Nitrome. Really hope we see that game at some point. I don't think this is the most likely venue for it to appear, but it might, and that would be great. That could be a shadow drop. Something else that could be a shadow drop is Mina the Hollower. This was delayed from Halloween of last year, which is kind of strange. I don't know. It seemed like the game was on track to come out, but just has not. And it's been a couple months, so it's pretty surprising. But hopefully it's coming soon, and this is a reasonably possible place for it to appear. And then just wrapping things up, because there's not too much else to say, we could see an unexpected first-party adjacent game similar to a couple of years back. We got Endless Ocean Luminous in one of these Nintendo Directs, one of the most notable video games of all time, of course. Since that was, I guess, developed by an external developer, but published by Nintendo, it was still included in the partner showcase. The rules for what can be shown here are not set in stone, so something more first-party adjacent is always a possibility. Yeah, with that said, the timing just does not feel correct for this. The Switch 2 in general with Directs has been a little weird since we got the big April Direct last year with all the big game announcements. That was an hour long, which was a really good Direct, very high quantity of information delivered to the viewer. And then we got, a partner showcase in the middle of the year, which was just kind of filling out the third-party releases. And then the September Direct, which we got a few high-profile announcements, but nothing really all that major. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is the kind of caliber of announcement, which is neat, but I don't know. Probably not going to be a 20 million seller, so to speak. Probably not a blockbuster in the same way that a new 3D Mario or 3D Zelda would be. Which I think that is what people are clamoring for at this point, is like a properly massive title to look forward to, because we don't have that. It has been a long time since the last 3D Mario or 3D Zelda, so they have to be coming at some point soon, maybe even this year for 3D Mario at least. But then again, the Odyssey team made Donkey Kong Bonanza just last year, and then we know Zeldas now take a very long time to make for the 3D entries, because they're seem very committed to the open air format of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So it's, and obviously those are very resource intensive to develop. So it would be difficult to say we're likely to get either of those this year. And then there are other major titles. We got Pokemon. Pokemon's doing their own thing, probably on Pokemon Day this month, maybe Gen 10, likely to be Gen 10. And then what else is there? Animal Crossing. We just got the big Animal Crossing Switch 2 update, so probably not anything else this year from Animal Crossing. Earliest would probably be next year. Then other stuff like Splatoon. There's a Splatoon spin-off slated for this year, but it's not quite a full new game. And then Splatoon 3 has been consistently getting updated, just got a relatively big update recently. So that also is likely to be a no-show for a full new entry. And then Smash Bros. Sakurai just released Kirby Air Riders with Bandai Namco, so it would be difficult to say we're likely to get a new Smash Bros. This year. So it does seem like we're getting just the franchises that are not quite the huge juggernauts of Nintendo's catalog this year. And this partner showcase doesn't do much to push aside those doubts. So it'll be nice, I guess, to see some third parties. I think there probably will be one or two actual new games, which could be very cool, but hard to get really worked up and hyped about this one. But hey, I would love to be proved wrong, and I guess we'll see tomorrow.